What's up, y'all? Connie up again. Today we're watching a YouTube video by Hamanimations. The video is titled "My Criminal Dog."
Continuing on with the case of Bryson v. Bryson on whether or not to adopt a dog, we will now hear from the plaintiff. The floor is yours. Your Honor, the defendants claim that adopting a dog will improve our mental state and make us happier is sheer lunacy. Dogs are messy, unruly animals. If allowed into our lives, this animal will shed everywhere, raid the trash cans, poop and pee in the house, and bark constantly. And the dog in question is a pit bull. Do I need to bring up the statistics? This case speaks for itself. Protect our resources, Your Honor. Do not be tricked into supporting an unemployed, freeloading dog. Thank you, Mr. Bryson.
Honestly, everybody needs a dog. Not all dogs are bad. Dogs are actually quite cute and are fun to have.
Bryson, your defense? The plaintiff's claim is entirely conjecture. As opposed to them, I have concrete evidence that my client is a good boy worth adopting. Presenting evidence A. Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, do not be tricked into supporting an unemployed, freeloading good boy worth adopting. Presenting evidence A. Objection, Your Honor. Overruled.
Oh, my baby boy, I love you so much, you are my pride and joy. When I look at your face, I see your silver smile. For you I would go the extra mile. Oh, boy.
Judging in favor of the defendant. Hi, I'm Bryson, and today I want to tell you more stories about this creature. And later, we'll be talking about his partners in crime, my siblings' dogs. This is Bo, my 5-year-old rescue pit bull. But he's the good kind of pit bull. He's never eaten a toddler. At least, not to my knowledge. He has Bluetooth connected to my soul, and I will love him forever. Even though he's the best dog of all time, that doesn't mean he hasn't been involved in various shenanigans, hijinks, escapades, and crimes. Let's take a look at his criminal record, shall we? To start off, let me tell you about the only fight Bo has ever been in. So, there we were at the dog park. Bo was having a grand old time frolicking with the other dogs. Then, in walked...
Oh, and guys, don't forget to go check out the original video on Hamanimations channel. And like and subscribe on it. Like and subscribe. And also like and subscribe to my channel.
A Great Pyrenees. For anyone that doesn't know, a Great Pyrenees is basically the closest you can get to legally owning a polar bear. He was a big boy, and his name was Wallace. Now, Bo is usually good with other dogs, but sometimes when there's a dog that's bigger than him, he feels threatened and wants to establish dominance. Bo saw Wallace and immediately decided to F around, and believe me when I tell you, he found out. Bo ran over and jumped up to put his paws on top of Wallace. Wallace didn't like that. They started angrily barking and fighting, and the other owner and I quickly separated them. But Wallace wanted to set the record straight. He walked over to Bo and placed his paw on his shoulder as if to say,
"Do you feel in charge?"
Bo didn't like that. Bo growled and then jumped up to attack, but Wallace simply plowed into Bo and threw him flat on his back. No dog was hurt, but needless to say, Bo got humbled that day and hasn't tried anything like that since. To be honest, he probably needed to be knocked down a peg or two. It builds character. But, you know, lots of dogs bark at each other. Let's crank it up from a misdemeanor to a felony. He steals garbage from my trash cans and then stores it outside. It's like a dragon with its hoard of gold, except it's a dog with trash. Literally, as I was writing this script, I heard him start mucking around in the bathroom trash can. I get bloody noses in the winter, and my used bloody tissues are some of his...
If you get bloody noses in the winter, most likely you're probably not drinking enough water. This saying.
Favorite things to steal for some reason. I guess he has a taste for human blood now. It's probably fine.
Oh,
and of course, he licks every...
Yep.
Everything. His paws, his butt, my face, in that order. And he also licks my arms and legs all the time. I'm starting to agree with the theory that dogs lick us because they know there are bones underneath.
How many licks does it take to get to your center, Father?
But those are still pretty standard dog shenanigans. Let me tell you about his most diabolical crime. His magnum opus, if you will. At my old place, I noticed that Bo had started to lick the corner of my couch every so often. It was kind of annoying, but he had conditioned me to just be used to him licking everything at that point. A few weeks went by, and he kept licking the couch regularly. Finally, I decided to check it out. Expecting a toy or ball or something, I reached in and pulled out a stick of butter! He had stashed it in my couch! For weeks! As I thought about it, I felt more and more betrayed. This wasn't just normal mindless stealing. This was calculated, it was intelligent, and it was planned. He not only stole from me, but he had the foresight to stash it, hide it in plain sight, so he could savor the flavor for longer. So I'd be there on the couch petting him and loving him, unaware of him enjoying his stolen goods. And then, several times after that, I'd come home to an empty butter wrapper on my floor. And get this, as I was moving away, we took apart my bed and found another stick of butter stashed behind it. I then moved into my new house and got security cameras, and look what my camera caught!
Real life Bo.
I came home and my butter tray was licked clean! The lesson you should all learn from this is that if you're within a 500-mile radius of Bo and you think you still have butter left in your house, check again! I seriously think his butter addiction is why he has such a shiny, lustrous coat. Do his crimes stop there? No! As I was settling into my new house, I finally decided to upgrade to a big, fancy bed. In my old bed, Bo always slept with me, and he had some separation anxiety, so I decided to let him join me on my new bed. The first few nights went off without a hitch. Then one night, I step out of the shower and he peed on my bed! I immediately started screaming at him and kicked him out of the room. I stripped the bed, and fortunately, my mom had encouraged me to get a waterproof sheet for my bed.
Mom.
I thanked my lucky stars because it was almost game over. There's no power on earth that can unpiss a mattress. It was a close call, but my mattress was safe. I marched over to Bo, shoved the pee-stained sheets in his face, and screamed, "What is this? Why did you do this? Bad dog!" Bo looked at me like he had never looked at me before, terrified and trembling. My anger melted away, and I started crying and apologizing. Fortunately, Bo never peed on my bed again, though, because he's been banished from my room for all time. Seriously, this dog had it made! Sleeping in a king-sized bed, and somehow he fumbled it. That's on you, Bo.
Bryson, listen to me, please. Please listen. Don't turn me into a marketable plushie.
That's right, we got a new Bo plush. Isn't he the cutest thing ever? Disclaimer, Hamanimations is not responsible for any damages caused by the plush, such as trash hoards, piss on bedsheets, or stolen butter. Bo, do you like it? Uh-oh. Use the link in the description to pre-order it now. Okay, back to the video. On paper, all the bad stuff about dogs makes it sound like torture, but the feeling you get when they snuggle with you on the couch and give you kisses just emotionally makes it all worth it. Taking care of an unemployed freeloader who actively makes messes and ruins stuff is actually super rewarding. Who would have ever known that?
Your mother.
Plus, he's not a human child, so he doesn't get offended when I call him stupid and stinky, so he won't need therapy later in life. But he might need physical therapy because he hurt his leg. We were at a park and I told him to go down the slide. He went down and I thought it was awesome. Then I told him to do it again so I could get it on video and... Up there! Up! Come down the slide! Come on! Yeah! No! And he hurt his leg. Just kidding, that was a lie. He was perfectly fine after that, not even a scratch. You want to know how he really hurt his leg? We were visiting my mom and he was walking on the hardwood at a normal speed and then he slipped and fell over and started yelping.
Sorry.
It was a freak accident and I have no idea how the slide did 0 damage and a little slip did 100 damage.
No logic.
Seeing my special boy have to limp around makes me so sad. Now he needs surgery to fix his leg, so I'll let you know how that goes. I will do everything in my power to help him recover. Although it is funny that despite his injury, he still steals my trash and my butter. Nothing can stop him. But I haven't introduced you to Bo's packmates yet. Let's start with his roommate, Brayden and Kira's dog, Winston. To help you get to know Winston better, I've made a list of his pros and cons. The pros: I like when he sits in my lap, and I like the way he smells. Literally everything else about him is a con. Let's get into it. His life is literally perfect, but despite this, he grumbles and groans and complains all the time. He has everything he could possibly need and more, and yet he's always like... Winston and Bo have a love-hate sibling-esque relationship. Winston clearly doesn't understand how easily Bo could destroy him, because he mouths off to Bo and attacks him all the time. I mean, look. Buddy, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because I promise you it would take less than 10% of his power to evict you from this plane of existence. Of course I love Winston, but he could definitely benefit from an attitude check. Also, wiener dogs in general are just funny looking. Dogs were never supposed to look like this, but humans were like, hey look, through selective breeding we can turn this noble creature into a cartoon character. Bo was very easily potty trained. I looked at him and said, you go pee-pee and poo-poo outside. And he said,
Okay, I understand.
but Winston's brain is so small that potty training just doesn't work on him. He regularly poops and pees on my carpets and refuses to go outside in the dark. On multiple occasions, he has pooped right next to the dog door inside the house. He's just openly mocking me at this point. But the worst was when I moved into my new house. Everything was brand new. I was so happy. Then we discovered that Winston had peed in one of the only carpeted rooms in the house. Almost everything else was hardwood, and he purposefully peed on the carpet. My mind flooded with rage.
Destroy the child.
Oh, that sounds a little dark for you. Now, go ahead.
It'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick.
Show me. I knew you couldn't do it, even when you have nothing to lose. You're weak! And I've outgrown you.
He also steals Bo's food all the time. Winston has literally stolen treats out of his mouth before. Hey, you know you could destroy him easily, right? I'm just making sure you know. Do with that information what you will.
I will consider these things.
But one time, the vet prescribed Bo some painkillers and mild sedatives since he hurt his leg. I put it in his food, and apparently, Winston stole it, and we found him sitting in the middle of the stairs.
Yep. So certain pills are also prescribed, like for dogs. They're also stronger for bigger dogs. Bo was bigger than Winston. But since Winston ate it, it was a stronger dose, causing him to do this, basically.
As high as a kite. It's like he started going up the stairs and forgot where he was and just stayed there.
How did we get out here in the middle of the ocean?
He is now on a diet because he was getting fat from all the theft. Even though Bo and Winston have their sibling arguments, it's still funny to see their pack mentality. Once, we were at a big dog park and Bo was playing with a Great Dane. Bo barked and Winston heard and thought Bo was in trouble, so he ran to help.
Help is on the way, dear!
Like, buddy, what are you gonna do against a Great Dane? Nibble his ankles? Luckily, Bo also has Winston's back. At that same park, Winston growled and barked at another big dog, and Bo got between them and was like,
What is going on here?
dude, he literally barked at me for no reason.
Oh, yeah, he does that. As you were.
I like Winston, but Bo is just objectively better in every way. Watch.
Welcome. What's your name?
You're a singer? Okay, good luck. Thank you so much for auditioning on the show and for singing such a beautiful song. And even though you haven't competed, you've already won.
Good evening. What is your name?
Do you sing for a living? All right, sing for us.
Now it's time to introduce you to Brody and Jen's dog, Molly. I think the quickest way for you to get to know her is to see what happens when you ask her to wait or show any kind of restraint at all. Here's a video of Brody asking Molly to patiently wait before being let outside to go potty.
Back up. Back up. Back up.
As you can see, she has a hard time controlling herself. She chirps like a bird and gets so excited when she sees us because her main goal in life is to lick the inside of everyone's mouth. And I'm hesitant to let her because she has literally eaten and rolled in poop before. One time, Brody was visiting and Molly wanted to spaz out and lick everyone's mouth like usual, but Brody wouldn't let her. She started freaking out and screaming. So Brody picked her up and she started shaking and thrashing, and then pooped into the air while he was holding her.
You need to leave!
Sorry all her stories so far involve poop. That's just who she is, I guess. She's quite the goofball. When you dodge too many of her kisses, she gets mad and will bite your nose. She's so fast that it's hard to hold her away from your face and keep her from kissing you. It's almost like she can no-clip past your defenses in order to lick your face. Also, her ears are so big and pointy, I feel like she can hear my thoughts. Brody sometimes calls her his little fruit bat because of those big ears. And her eyes look like someone started applying eyeliner and then gave up halfway through. And of course, no dog story is complete without the rite of passage of the dog almost dying. One time, Brody and Jen were cleaning out a relative's storage unit when they heard Molly chewing on something.
It's a brick of rat poison!
Oh my God! They rushed her to the vet, and the vet gave her eye drops to make her vomit the poison because apparently that's a thing. I don't know anything about how any of that works, but they saved her, and she's okay. Woohoo! Molly, I really thought this went without saying, but please don't eat poop or rat poison. And then there's my childhood dog, Dixie. She's really old and deaf and can't see well and can't control her bladder anymore, and she's basically skin and bones, but she still seems to be enjoying life and is always happy to see me. She also recently has decided to never eat dog food again, so she is fed hot dogs and chicken nuggets and leftover meat. She's living like a princess. She's had a lot of adventures and has been a fantastic family dog. I don't know if she'll still be alive by the time I post this video, but here's hoping. They are a silly bunch of dogs, and they're always getting up to mischief. But I'm so glad we have them. They're all very cute, but of course, Bo holds a special place in my heart. I seriously love Bo like a son, and I would do anything to protect him. To sum up my case, Your Honor, the evidence clearly shows that these dogs have caused more harm than good since they've been around. For the common good, your original ruling must be overturned. Objection, Your Honor. These dogs are radical and dope, and the plaintiff is ugly and stupid. Also, take a look at this. Aww. Judging in favor of the defendant. Hi, I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.